Okay, we are just a few days away from Apple's Wonderlust event, and I normally would not do a leaks and rumors video just a few days before the event, but we actually just got a ton of fresh information about the latest iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Pro, some USB-C accessories that are going to launch alongside the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro, as well as some last-minute Apple Watch tidbits. So for this video, I just wanted to bring you all up to speed just before the event so you know exactly what to expect going in. If you don't want to know what to expect going in, turn off YouTube right now. I know, like, normally I'd want you to watch my YouTube videos, but if you really don't want to be spoiled, you could turn off. I understand. You gone? Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about what to expect now with the iPhone 15 Pro, because one of the biggest benefits coming to this year's models, I think, was the switch over from stainless steel to a new titanium finish. So titanium is going to bring a lot of benefits to this iPhone series. One of them would be that it's going to be a more matte finish, so it's going to show less fingerprints, and it's also going to be stronger than stainless steel. But on top of being stronger, it's also going to be lighter. Well, we actually have pretty much concrete information on how much lighter these new phones are going to be, thanks to Mark Gurman from Bloomberg. He has excellent reporting. Actually, a lot of the information in this video is based on Mark Gurman's reporting, and he is very accurate. So he is saying that the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max are going to be about 10% lighter than their iPhone 14 Pro counterparts. And that's pretty significant to me. I know you're thinking, oh, this isn't heavy at all. Why do you keep complaining? I don't know. There's just something about the weight of this phone when I'm holding it for a while. I'm just kind of like, it's a little bit too heavy. And I feel like Apple has just been making the phones a little bit heavier year after year, to the point where eventually when they got to the 14 Pro Max, I was like, okay, it would be nice to get a little bit weight reduction in these phones. And it looks like that's finally happening. So a 10% reduction in the weight with bigger batteries too. So that's great. On top of the bigger batteries, the A17 chip, again, we've been talking about this for a while now, that 3nm process, according to Mark Gurman, is also going to significantly help on battery life savings. So this is going to be a very exciting year. It's not every year that Apple not only puts in bigger batteries into their phone, but also introduces a new chip process. This is moving from a 5nm process on the A16 chip to a 3nm process on the A17 chip. So Gurman is saying that this will result in a couple more hours of battery life. So let's say like the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max just get like 2 hours of additional battery life. I know 2 hours doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, when you're dealing with the types of battery life we already have in modern smartphones and extending them by an additional 2 hours, I feel like that's pretty significant, especially if the chip is that much more efficient that even when you're using it with more intensive applications like gaming or editing photos or something like that, if it can eke out more battery life because of that, like, I think that's gonna lead to a really good phone year for battery life. I think the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are gonna be like battery life winners across the board. I am a little worried though about the regular iPhone 15 models, considering that we'll be getting last year's A16 chip from the 14 Pro. If my theory is correct, that, you know, that extra power in that 5nm process was one of the reasons why people were seeing, you know, worse battery life on their 15 or on their 14 Pros, I should say. That might carry over to the 15, even though those are supposed to get bigger batteries as well. Hopefully that offsets the additional power drain that the A16 chip would cause from that. But yeah, it could be a year where maybe the iPhone 15 isn't getting as much battery life as what is available on the 15 Pro, which would be interesting. We're going to see when Apple gives us the official battery life ratings, because last year, the 14 Plus had the best battery life out of any iPhone, even beating the 14 Pro Max. Another spec that seems to be leaking is that all of the iPhone 15 Pro series will be getting an upgrade from 6GB of memory to 8GB of memory, and I think that lines up too with the M3 chips, which are also going to be on a 3nm process, and apparently even the base level M3 chips are rumored to be getting a bump up in memory this year, so that would make sense if we are now looking at this A17 chip starting with 8GB of memory across the board. Another thing to note though is the camera improvements. One of the reasons we upgrade our phones every year or every couple of years is because a new camera comes out with better features. Now on the normal iPhone 15, we talked about already how it is going to get last year's 48 megapixel camera system from the iPhone 14 Pro minus the dedicated zoom lens, and that seems to be lining up. So apparently there's not going to be any other improvements to that regular iPhone 15 camera system. It is basically just getting that 14 Pro camera system from last year with the same sensor, the same wide angle lens, and I believe maybe even the same ultra wide angle lens. But it is not going to get any of the exclusive improvements that are coming over to the 15 Pro. Now the 15 Pro supposedly is going to focus a little bit more on software camera upgrades too, maybe fixing some of the issues with HDR, maybe increasing the sensor size just a little bit, but the big camera feature is going to be exclusive to the Pro Max this year, and according to last minute rumors, it is not going to be called the iPhone 15 Ultra. It is still going to be called iPhone 15 Pro Max, and that is that it is moving from a 3x zoom to a 6x zoom. Now, apparently this extended 6x range for the zoom lens is coming in the form of a periscoping camera. So apparently it's going to be able to go from like a variable zoom, like maybe it starts at 3x and then it can zoom all the way up to 6x optically instead of digitally. And that's just going to result in much cleaner photos when you're shooting at a distance, when you're trying to capture faraway subjects. This is something that I've said for a while now. Android phones have been beating Apple with this extended zoom range for so long now, and I have been asking Apple for like the past 2 years, like, you gotta extend the zoom range on these phones. I know not every time you want to get like a zoomed in picture, but when you do and you try and do that on iPhone, you just don't get good results. So I am personally really happy to see Apple extending the zoom range on here. And, I'm hoping for some additional camera software or some really good camera hardware in these zoom lenses that just makes them a step above what we are even seeing from the Android competitors today. But it's going to be hard for them, right? Like, Samsung's been doing this for a while, and their zoom range goes all the way up to like 10x optically. So it's going to be interesting to see what Apple can do here with a 6x. Obviously, it's not going to extend as long as the Samsung phones, but if they have some special hardware that makes these photos look even better at that range, or some camera software to help them out, it's going to be interesting to see. But either way, we are getting better zoomed in pictures than we were on the 14 Pro, and I am happy for that. Okay, and then the last thing is apparently the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro are going to be getting a new U2 chip. So these phones already have a U1 chip, which helps with their location accuracy and using some other features with Find My. Apparently they're getting now a new U2 chip, and U2 like the band. That's going to be funny if Apple makes like a joke for that. But yeah, apparently this U2 chip is going to improve location accuracy even further, to the point where like maybe it's going to be like able to like really pinpoint your location when you're using it with Find Me. Maybe it's going to lead to better tracking of like AirTags, more precise tracking of that, because sometimes with the current AirTag system, I feel like you have to move around your phone too much before you get like that screen that shows you where the AirTag is. So maybe U2 will improve that a bit. I'm still like the name U2, like Apple has such a connection with that band U2. Anyway, yeah, so this new U2 chip basically just going to improve location accuracy, and that will also be coming apparently to the Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2, which again, we've been hearing that there weren't really too many updates for those watches, basically new colors and a new faster S9 chip. So this is a little something to add to those Apple Watch features, getting better location accuracy. And then another last minute rumor was that maybe the heart rate sensor on the Apple Watch was going to get more accurate as well. So that'll be interesting to see if those last minute rumors pan out for the Apple Watch, could actually lead to it being a more significant upgrade than we thought. Other than that though, with the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro, obviously one of the big features this year is the switch over to USB-C. But we always kind of wondered, okay, well, if they're switching over to USB-C, Apple has a lot of accessories out right now where they have a lightning connection. You look at AirPods, you look at the MagSafe battery case, basically any accessory where you need to connect to a cable, it is a lightning port. So not only will Apple be have to switch over the phones to USB-C, but they're going to have to switch over all their accessories too. So are any accessories launching with the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro that will support USB-C? And apparently Mark Gurman is saying that at least a new generation of AirPods Pro, not like regular AirPods, AirPods Pro, are going to be launching with the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro, and those will have a USB-C case. So that is good to see that at least one of the accessories is being updated with the USB-C case. And apparently, according to Gurman, there's going to be 4 separate briefings. There's going to be the briefing on the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, the 15 and 15 Pro, the new Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2, and then a separate briefing for these new pair of AirPods, which again is the main upgrade seems to be a USB-C case, but also he says like some exclusive software features that maybe they want to go over from iOS 17. So that'll be interesting. Now to top it all off, I saved this for last because it's a little boring, but we talked about also how Apple may be switching over from their Apple leather case series to like a new case made out of like recycled like plastic. It kind of looks like fabric-y, very similar to how like maybe like their Apple Watch Solo loops look. They're like made out, it looks like they're made out of fabric, but it's actually like recycled plastic. Well, apparently we actually have some like hands-on leaks of like these cases at this point. So it seems pretty official that Apple is kind of moving away from leather on the Apple Watch bands and on the iPhone cases over now to this new woven fabric material. So it'll be interesting to see how these cases look and if they're an upgrade from the leather ones. I kind of like the leather ones, so I'm kind of sad to see them go, but hopefully this one's better. But yeah, basically, those are all the last minute leaks and rumors for Apple's Wonderlust event, which is going to be taking place Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's it. That's all you're gonna see of me until that event comes, I hope. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give me a like. If you want to see more coverage, including my coverage of that event, of all the iPhones, the Apple Watches, the AirPods, whatever Apple releases, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.